What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new to the channel, my name is AkeemHaynes. I'm a two-time Olympic bronze medalist, author, motivational speaker, and sports commentator. On my channel, we talk boxing, MMA, track and field, and of course, motivation and encouraging content. If this is something that you enjoy, then I hope that you subscribe to the channel. Now, let's get into the video. Edgar Berlanga versus Romir Arguello. What did we think of this fight? This was a big step up for Berlanga, right? Angulo is a tough, heavy-handed fighter. He's not who he used to be movement-wise. You could see in that fight that he was noticeably slower than Edgar Berlanga, but he landed good shots, precise shots. And in moments, he touched up Berlanga pretty good, right? Berlanga was in trouble. We saw the blood going down his nose, right? Like Angulo was landing some good shots. He was fighting a good fight. We saw Berlanga was in trouble. Berlanga made some adjustments, right? But if he stayed in the pocket and tried to bang with Angulo, I think Angulo would have knocked him out because Angulo was landing the cleaner and bigger shots. And we have to give him credit for that. Despite the age, Angulo came in to fight. He was the same guy, just a little bit slower, but he was the same guy that he's always been. But let's touch on Edgar Berlanga for a quick second here, right? I first heard of Berlanga when he was 7-0, right? People were telling me he's this great fighter. He's the next Mike Tyson. I said, whoa, wait a minute. Pump the brakes a little bit, right? Let's not mature someone just because they have qualities that mirror other fighters that we may like. Berlanga is no Mike Tyson, but we know he has power. We know he had a 16 streak knockout. Like, we know when it comes to knocking people out, we know he's good at that. And we know him because of that. Now, in the recent fights, we haven't seen the Edgar Berlanga that we've been introduced to, right? He's still undefeated, but we're still trying to figure out the direction of where he's going. He was in trouble in this fight. He's used to being the come forward fighter, the aggressor, right? But Angulo was the one coming forward most of this fight. And Berlanga respected his power and his skills to not fall into his game plan. We saw a different Edgar Berlanga in this fight, right? We saw an adaptive Edgar Berlanga, right? We saw someone who didn't just rely on the punching power, but now he had to use his skills. He had to use the other parts of his boxing repertoire that he needed to develop. And he had to outbox Angulo. He had to use the jab more. Have you ever seen Edgar Berlanga use the jab that much? I didn't. But he had to use the jab more. He had to be more patient. He had to set up his shots. He had to use footwork to get away from Angulo. I felt like in this fight, we saw a different level of maturity in Edgar Berlanga because we know he couldn't go shot for shot with this guy, not today. Despite the age, Angulo still has the power to knock people out. But I thought Edgar Berlanga used his jabs and stayed patient, picked his spots, used his movement and his youth to tire Angulo out and keep him at distance. Now, I didn't like some of the antics that Edgar Berlanga did. Like, why are you trying to bite the man's ear off? But we know what that comes from. That was more of frustration and annoyance than anything. And when you are hearing that this guy is 38, 39 years old and you're supposed to knock him out and you get inside the ring and the fight isn't how you thought it should go, you get frustrated. And you try to do anything to get under the other person's skin so they loosen up their guard and you can land your shot. It was just out of pure frustration. I don't agree with it. I think he should have lost the point. I'm sure he'll get fined. But Edgar Berlanga was frustrated. Now, Angulo didn't go away at any point, right, in this fight. So the question I want to ask you is, did he do enough to win the fight? Did Berlanga win this fight outright? We saw the result, right? The scorecards I thought was a bit wide, right? Especially the two that were 99-91. I thought that was a bit mad in my opinion, but I'm curious. What do you think, right? We got to have this discussion. This is the great thing about having this channel is I see all the comments you guys have. We can have an open discussion, whether we agree or we disagree. We can talk about it, right? Did the judges get it right? Or did they lean towards the hometown kid who was the headliner? The people came out to see Berlanga. We got to give him credit. The man can fill a crowd, right? But let me know in the comments section below. But before we go, I pose you with another question. What does Berlanga do next? Where does he go next? While this was a step up for him, I don't believe we've seen from him that he's ready for the top guys in that division. Can he get there? Of course he can. He's young. He's got a lot of time to develop and grow, and I believe that he will. I'm just saying I don't see that right now. But I will say this. Perhaps the best thing to happen to Edgar Berlanga was when the knockout streak ended, because now he can focus on being a better boxer and developing more than just his power, because he's going to have to do a lot more than just be heavy-handed to get to the top of that division. What were your thoughts on this fight? Let me know in the comments section below. Who do you think Berlanga should be in the ring with next? Let me know in the comments section below. And if you've been watching this long, then do me a huge favor and subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you next time.